Right, welcome to another episode of Warhammer 40,000. It's Apocalypse, it's the brand new rule system. I'm going to try it out here in this game. And it's Tau Empire versus Ultramarines. Fighting across this landscape here. It was once held by the Astra Militarum. The Tau have come sweeping through, securing this zone. And the Ultramarines have been sent in to drive them out. So we've never seen these two sides collide before in Apocalypse, so excited about that, and also excited to be trying out the new Apocalypse rules. But to be across this terrain, the Tau Empire will do battle with the forces of the Ultramarines Space Marines. Alright, so welcome to this game of Apocalypse here. I was going to say points, we're not doing points now, it's power level we're going to use. Here we've organised our detachments and I run through the list here for the Tau Empire. So detachment here then is a battalion. The Warlord here is a Fireblade. 2 dedicated transports here, 2 Devilfish, and then I've gone for 6 infantry in this battalion here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 10 strike teams. There's a couple of DS8 support turrets and 2 of those units. 2 units of breaches. I reckon I'm going to put those inside the Devilfish, and they're also attached some shield drones here. 3 fast attacks, 1, 2, 3 units of 4. That makes up that detachment just there. There's a super heavy auxiliary detachment here as well with the Storm Surge. Then another detachment here. It's a Spearhead, 1, 2, 3 hammerheads with railguns, smart missile systems on one of them, and then 2 of them with the burst cannons, and then Long Strike as the Warlord, the HQ choice for that detachment just there. Then I've got a stealth detachment here, so it's a Vanguard, 1, 2, 3, 4 elites and an HQ. It's Shadow Sun, she's the War Master, taking the drones upgrade for her as well. 2 units of 3 stealth battle suits and 2 ghost kills as well, one with a cyclic Iron Raker and the other with the Fusion Collider, double fusion blaster on each of those as well. Then I've got a deep strike option here, a reserve detachment I can put into reserve. So again, this is a Vanguard detachment here, 1, 2, 3 units of Crisis battle suits, units of 3. The first with double fusion blaster for each of those, and then this one here, fusion blaster, plasma rifle for each of them, and then double plasma rifle here and plasma rifle, and then missile pod for the other 2. Been joined by 2 units of drones, regular drones, 2 units of 8, and then the commander here, it's Commander Ghost Tide with 2 drones attached to him, quadruple fusion blaster for him, and that's the Warlord for this detachment. Then next detachment here, it's a Spearhead Detachment, so 2 Skyray defense ships, 1, 2, 3 units of sniper drones. I can take 2 elites choices in there, so that's the marksman will join them, unit of marker drones as well, fast attack, and then the Warlord there for them. It's Commander Shadow Strike here, back from retirement. He's going to take part here. 2 drones attached to him, plasma rifle. Yep. And the other weapon's a cyclic iron blaster for him. That's his other weapon. Last detachment here is a Spearhead. So 2 separate units. I've separated these 2 just to make up the 3 heavy supports that you need to take. So 1, 2 broadsides here with smart missile systems, high yield missile pods. Unit of 3 with the heavy rail rifles and double plasma rifles for them. There's a firesight marksman in the squad. There's a Riptide that's taking the 2 shielded drones for him. And then a unit of Pathfinders, unit of 10. And the Warlord is the Ethereal here for this detachment. The War Master is Shadow Sun here for this force, and I rolled a 6, which is Heroic Commander, plus 6 inches to any aura abilities for her. So that's the list here for the Tau. It's not the entire collection, it's most of the models here. There's no Kroot here. We're going to play pure Tau in this game here. It comes to 289 power level, just short of 300, which means that the Tau will be the defenders here in this scenario. Played Tau defensively yet, so it'll be interesting to see how they cope against an Ultramarines Assault here in this game. Their faction ability: aimed fire units that have received that order, they can still shoot whilst in combat, and then other units inside that detachment can also fire into combat to support a unit from their own detachment that's fighting away, but it is -1 to the hit rolls, but just lets the tower give them the ability to still be able to shoot even though they are in close contact with enemy models. So that's the list for the tower. I mentioned the patrons at this point. Special thanks to them. You can see the silver level supporters in the end credits of the video. Thanks to those supporting at bronze as well. And then those at gold level: Marcus Anthony, Paul Cook and Adam Bateman. Thanks to their support. I've set up the Patreon page to support the club here at SSWG, and much of the train here, including this board, has been put together by members of the club here. So I've set up the Patreon page just to support the club, so any proceeds go directly to SSWG Wargames Club. You can check out their website, sswg.co.uk. Alright, James's Ultramarine army here. If you've ever gone into Games Workshop and wondered where all the blue paint's gone, this is the reason why. James has caused a shortage. Alright, so James has assembled his Ultramarine force here. We'll let him run through what he has. It's
307 power level.
That's okay. It's quite easy going now, Apocalypse. Just a general power level rating. Doesn't have to match here. For this scenario that we're going to play, it's whoever has the highest power level, which is James, will make them the attacker, so it suits our narrative great here for this matchup. So I'll let James run through his list.
Right, this is my Ultramarines battle company. So we've got Primaris as well as the classic Space Marines, and leading the battle company is of course the Primarch himself, Roboute Guilliman. So he is the War Master, fitting with the narrative there. And then he is part of a Vanguard detachment, so second in command would be Captain Akaran. And we've got a company champion, Primaris Ancient, an Apothecary, and a company command squad in that detachment. And then we have two battalion detachments. So each battalion detachment we have a tactical squad, two intercessor squads, and we have a dreadnought accompanying them as well, dedicated transports, a rhino, and a Space Marine chaplain as well, leading that detachment. And then the second battalion detachment we have a librarian, and we have two tactical squads, and then we have the new Phobos pattern infiltrators, Primaris, and then we have, actually for the first time, I'm debuting this other dreadnought that hasn't been used. So it's equipped with a multi-melter and a close combat weapon, and there's two dedicated transports, which is a rhino. And then we have a outrider detachment. So again, debuting, we have a lieutenant with jump pack leading the force, so keep up with the fast attack. And we have an assault squad, 6 inceptors, and then we have the bike squad, of a small bike squad there. And then we have the devastators. So we have the Primaris Lieutenant leading this detachment, which is the Spearhead. So then we have a Devastator squad. Oh, sorry, I forgot what it's called. What are they called?
Hellblasters.
Hellblasters. Sorry, how could I forget Hellblasters? I
don't forget them.
I know. Hellblasters, and then dedicated transports, the Rhino, and then we have a Thunderfire cannon in that detachment as well. But you notice it's so streamlined. I'm not detailing all the weapons. I just name the names.
Oh yeah.
It's just so much quicker. So already it's off to a good start. And then we have a Tech Marine HQ leading the Spearhead, another Spearhead detachment of Vindicators. And then we have Kronos, who is an HQ inside a heavy support. So there's 3 heavy supports, and then he counts as a passenger if he gets out. So he's leading that Spearhead detachment, and then accompanying him is 2 Whirlwinds.
That's fine, if they're heavy support.
Yes,
right, so
heavy supports.
No problem. Okay, great.
And then we have 2 flyers, we have 2 Storm Raven gunships. So that is my Ultramarines army. And you know what I'm going to say, brother? Courage and honour. We march for Macragge. And we shall know no fear.
All right, so that's James's list, complete with battle cry here. Just to clarify, this one is a air wing detachment. It's 1 to 5, so those two together in the one detachment. That's fine. So for the faction, James gets to re-roll morale.
Yep.
And then for the War Master, James rolled a 9, which is martial discipline. Units within 6 inches of Guilliman can fall back and still shoot, or make a shooting action or an attack action. So that's the lists here. We will take a look at scenario now for this apocalyptic battle. Alright, so we have a scenario and a mission here. It's Apocalyptic Assault, the mission taken from the new field manual for Apocalypse, and it's going to match in here with the narrative that we've built here for this battlefield. So the Astra Militarum were defending facing this direction. Tau Empire have crossed the river and slaughtered the guard here and driven them back. Even some units destroyed whilst they were trying to retreat, and the Tau have taken up position on this hillside here and have hastily erected some barricades, expecting a counterattack, and that counterattack will be in the form of the Ultramarines. They've been sent in, and so the Ultramarines will attack from this direction towards the defended hillside and try and drive the Tau out of this position and then back across the river. So the Tau have intruded into this Imperial zone, and the Ultramarines will be the ones that will attempt to drive them back. So Tau will be defending. This is their deployment line of dice along here. So Tau detachments can deploy inside this zone, and then 24 inches no man's land, and this grey line of dice marks the deployment zone for the Ultramarines. The two armies will be 24 inches apart at a minimum. So as per the mission, there's 6 objectives here in this game. Objective number 6 is just here. We place those on the table. They have to be more than 12 inches away from each other and a battlefield edge. James placed the first one, but Tau placed one just here. Objective number 5, just next to the bastion there. Objective number 2 is out here in no man's land, one that the Ultramarines can go for. Objective number 1 is just here, and then objective number 4 is just here. And then where's your 6th objective? Here it is. Yes, it's here. Objective number 3 inside the Ultramarine deployment zone. So the aim of the game is to control objectives. At the end of each turn, whoever controls the most objectives will achieve 1 victory point. If it's a draw, so if both sides control 3 objectives, then the defender, which is the Tau, will get the point. So big incentive for the Ultramarines to try and capture a 4th objective here. Otherwise, by default, the Tau will get that point. So it forces them to control their own 3 objectives along here to seize those. But the Ultramarines must at least go after one of the Tau objectives as well if they're to start picking up points. It's also if the Ultramarines' power level is 25% higher than the Tau, and it's a draw, the Tau will pick up 2 points here. So if the Tau are outnumbered but they're still hanging on to the objectives, then there is a bonus of 2 victory points for them for that as well. So there's another rule here: slay the warlords at the end of each damage phase. Before checking to see if any command assets need to be discarded, each player generates 1 command asset for each enemy warlord that is not a War Master, and D3 command assets for an enemy warlord that is a War Master that was destroyed that phase. So destroying HQs will generate you extra cards from your deck. So that's the scenario here, quite straightforward. An Ultramarine attack which must go ahead. The Tau must be driven back, and the Tau Empire is determined to control this area to keep the Ultramarines away. We'll start alternating placing detachments on the table next. Alright, so we're on deployment here. We've left these detachments quite fluid, just a little bit of reorganisation taking place, just adapting to the rules here. It is structured differently to regular games of 40k. It's a bit of a learning curve for us. We'll do the best that we can to get the rules right. But both sides here making some slight adjustments to their detachments just to benefit from some of the rules and the way detachments are structured. So now, for the commander here, I've put a marker drone and a shield drone. That's +1 to saves. That's reroll 1s to hit. So this is the way it's organised now. I've kept 2 separate units of gun drones, but then for each of these squads here, I've added a gun drone for them. That will give them reroll wound rolls of 1 for their shooting attacks. Then here, the broadsides, they can take an array of drones here. So 2 missile drones, a marker drone, a shield drone for each of them, and the same for that squad there at the back. He already has the shielded missile drones, that's fine. So just a bit of reorganisation and the way the drones are distributed now in the army. So those independent units of shield drones that I had earlier on in the battalion, they're gone. They've been broken up and spread around in amongst the battlesuit units, and then the independent unit of marker drones, they're gone as well. They've been distributed in amongst the units as well. Just the new organisation now for the Tau here for Apocalypse. A little bit of change with James. He split this into 2 air wing detachments. It could be 1 to 5 models. Fine, so that's been done. And then here, these have gone into deep strike. The bikes have been taken away, and James has split this squad down to 2 units of 3. So that completes the detachment. That's now legal. But the whole unit now can go into reserves. Yeah, the whole unit can go into reserves. The problem is the bikers. If he's not on the board, they become out of command. It would have caused trouble. So you've attached the bikers to here now, to the Vanguard. Perfect. Okay, so that's a fast stack option. 1, 2, 3 units of elites with an HQ. That's complete. So we're leaving it a little bit flexible here, just to
jump pack, so he can...
No, it's perfect. Yeah, they can all come down together. No, that's exactly how it should be. Okay, so we are approaching halfway through our deployment here. It's going quite quick. We're just sort of reorganising a little bit as we go along. All right, so deployment is finished now. Both sides have finished placing their units on the table. So just to cover the Tau first of all, I've placed this detachment into Deep Strike Reserve. So all those models can come down from reserve at some point during the game. Then detachment here of Hammerheads taking up position here, just holding back just to use their railguns at extreme range. Detachment here, that's the snipers, the 2 firesight marksmen. The commander for them is just there, we'll keep them within 12, and the 2 Skyrays just anchoring at the back. They have barrage special rules, so just logical. It's all transferring over from regular 40k. They can fire their Seeker missiles, and they don't need line of sight to fire those. Shadow Suns at the back here, just hidden away. This is my tactical reserve, just hidden behind the Bastion here. The 2 Ghost Kills and the stealth teams all together, just there. So that's their deployment. They're just going to use those as a floating reserve here for the Tau. I put the infantry out the front here, packing the units tighter now for unit coherency for Apocalypse. So 1, 2, 3, 4 units of strike teams. Then just there, again, all keep them within 12, is the Fireblade. And inside the 2 Devilfish is the Breacher teams for that detachment. Here's the Ultramarines around here. We'll just cover the Tau on this side. Then this detachment, there's the commander, the Imperial. I've put the Pathfinders at the front here. They have infiltrate special rule, which means they can deploy 24 inches away from their warlord. So I've put them out the front. Then marksman just here. Then here's the broadsides all lined up with all of their drones. Then the Riptide I've put on this side just to hold on to the objective, or to help hold on to the objective. The Storm Surge there at the back as well, set up near objective number 5 as well. So that's Tau deployment done. James has now deployed his Ultramarines. So infiltrators out the front here, they can deploy up to 24 inches away, and they can keep 24 inches, up to 24 inches away from their commander as well. So who's the leader of that detachment? Or the warlord?
The of that detachment is the Librarian.
Okay, that's fine. So they're miles away.
And the heavy hitting ones like the Hellblasters.
That's the lieutenant there. Okay, so that's those 2 detachments. James has split the air wing down to 2 separate air wing detachments. So 1 Storm Raven here, and then 1 across the other side as well. Vindicators in the centre. There's their warlord there, all within range. Captain Akaran. And his detachment. Units inside the Rhinos ready to move out. Detachment here at the front. There's the chaplain. The intercessors there at the front. And then the Spearhead Detachment here. There's Kronos. 2 Predators next to him. Annihilators. And the double Whirlwind at the back. Also, the Ultramarines look set for their advance here. Strong on 2 flanks. Vindicators in the centre. And there is the Tau gun line that awaits them. Alright, so we're all complete here and ready to go. There's no roll-off to see who goes first. It's alternating detachments, so there'll be a roll-off just for whoever has the initiative. Ready to go on to the first turn. James says he's enjoyed himself so far. It has been easy calculating the armies out. That's been very straightforward. The detachment's very logical as well, so happy enough with that. And deployment looks normal, sensible here on the board, so nice command and control structure here going on as well. So happy enough with this game so far. We haven't played a turn yet, so we're going to get ready to go on to turn 1 now in this apocalyptic fight. So usually a game of Apocalypse on this scale would take us all day. So we're going to play this game and we'll let you know at the end how long it's taken, but it's meant to be quicker. Yeah, not use a stopwatch, but we'll let you know how we get on as far as time is concerned. And usually get a bit of a headache at the end as well because of all the rules you have to remember and all of the shooting and tons of dice. But this should be easier going here. And on the scale that's in the book, this is probably about the smallest size Apocalypse game you could play. So thinking of games of triple the size, quadruple the size, maybe a thing of the future. But for now, we'll be content here with this apocalyptic mission about to take place. We've gone to turn 1. The Ultramarines prepared to move out against the upstart tower. Alright, so we're going to roll off here to see who has the initiative. James rolls a 6. The Tower roll a 6. Okay. 8. 9. Well done, James. James has initiative. So that means that he will pick a detachment. Yeah, no, hold it right there at the roll off. That's just checking the rules. And whoever finished deploying their army first, which was the Tower, gets the initiative. So the Tower have the initiative here in this turn. We'll pick a detachment here to move, but we'll place our order markers first for all of the detachments. Both sides will do that first of all. Okay, so orders have been granted. We've also drawn cards from our deck as well. The Tower have drawn 6 in total. You get 1 automatically, whatever happens at the start of your turn. Then for each Warlord that you have in your armour, you get an extra card as well. So the Tower have 5 on the table, plus the standard 1. So 6 have been drawn. And then for the Ultramarines, orders have been granted here. Cards have been drawn. You drew 7, didn't you, in total?
+1 for Guilliman.
8. 8 total. Okay, for the Ultramarines. You can hold up to 10. by the end of the turn. And so both of us have got a deck, not a full deck here, but we get through the cards, and then once they're all used up, they're shuffled and then used again. All right, so we're on. We're going to choose this detachment here. It's pretty obvious what it's going to be. It's aimed fire here with these hammerheads. We've got some targets lined up. You can see a couple of the predators here, and also the vindicators. I think that's the targets we're going to go after with these, with the rail guns on these tanks. Cards have been drawn. James has played Orbital Strike here. It's played during the action phase. Because the firepower's all simultaneous, we reckon we could just play this now. So James will work this one out. And then the Tau as well have laser burn also, which we're going to play across this side also. So we'll get these effects resolved here on the table, and then we'll commence firing here with the hammerheads. The great thing here is whatever damage occurs, detachments are going to get to shoot anyway, which is an interesting way of playing, different way of playing here, but I reckon it may work out quite well. We'll get these effects from some of these cards resolved now. Okay, yeah, so Orbital Strike. We reckon it's a point on the battlefield that could be seen, not an enemy model. So Kronos can see this point here. Means it's going to catch these two hammerheads with this asset. So you will need a 7 or more to damage these tanks. James roll a d12 for each. So hammerhead number 2, he's rolled a 7, well done. So it's going to be a blast marker. And then this hammerhead here, a 7 or more. It's rolled a 6. All right, so 1 blast marker on this hammerhead here. Okay, so we're going to go for laser burn here. Our 12-inch point is going to be from this rhino all the way across to here. We don't need to, it's just 2 points, don't need to be visible at all. Okay, so here, 7 on this rhino. Nope. That's a light character. That's going to be an 8, a 12, so he's been hit here. Just normal blast marker, there's no opportunity for anything bigger than that. The lieutenant has been struck as well, so he'll take a small blast marker. And the librarian, and Guilliman as well. And the rhino finally. No, alright, so the rhinos have escaped, but we've caused some blast markers across here. So Guilliman's been struck over there, but I don't think it's too much panic. He has a 3+ save on a d12. Okay. Oh wow, no, he's tough enough. Right, no, he's tough enough. But we've sent a warning shot there. The Tau have let loose a laser beam over in that corner. All right, so we're going to fire long strike first of all. Bit of a tradition to start with him. He's just here. He's got line of sight to this predator. We've played focused fire on the model. Mark lights as well against James's detachment. That'll give us reroll 1s, and we are on 2s for a hit here with the railgun. So 2s for a hit, rerolling 1s. He gets the hit. A railgun is a 4+ here. Ah!
Oh, there's no
long strike.
Reroll, is there?
Hold it right there. Focus fire. In the action phase, when you select one enemy unit, which is that predator, till the end of that turn you can reroll foul wound rolls. Oh boy. Okay, thankfully we'll get the wound. Ah, it's a 2. Disaster. I hate this game. That should have gone through, but it's fouled there miserably. Right, so long strikes made a blunder there. Despite all the tactical help here, his railgun has fouled. Yeah, and that should have gone through. It would have been destroyed. It would have been a large blast marker immediately there with that firepower. Yeah, it's 3+ to get a wound for him, but still it wouldn't have been enough. We rolled 2 and then a 2, so it's still not gone through. It's probably one of the easiest opportunities to wound something, and we've fouled here right at the start. But there are other hammerheads available to shoot here. So we'll fire hammerhead number 2. We'll see what he can do. It's going to be 2s to hit again because he's near long strike. Hits, and then it's going to be a 4+ again. A 6. Okay, so that wound has come through. It's destroy, so it's a large blast marker on this predator just here. All damage is resolved and saving frozen rounds, so on in the end phase, damage phase. Okay, so then we'll go now to this hammerhead here. The third hammerhead's going to fire again. Near long strike, 2s to hit, rerolling 1s for marker lights, the asset helping out, and then a 4+ here. A 12, yes, no, that's gone through. So another large blast marker on that predator. It's in serious trouble. The last hammerhead can see all the way across there and against the Vindicators. So I'm going to fire it against one of them. 2s to hit. Again, because of long strike being nearby. And then 4+ to get a destroyer wound. We've rolled a 1. Okay, so failure there. But one Predator in serious trouble, but that's all the damage so far. And that detachment now has finished its firepower. So now we'll let James pick a detachment here to activate here in the action phase. Right, okay.
Dreadnought, Intercessors, and the Rhino.
Okay, so this detachment here has been activated, and it's an advance move here. So James will be able to perform 2 actions. He can move, which he'll begin, and then he'll be able to shoot as well. All right, so movement's complete. A general advance here with the Marines. Their job's to try and flush the tower out of their defensive positions here, keeping all the units within command range of the chaplain. And so that is that action done, the movement. We'll go on to some shooting here for this detachment now. Okay, so shooting here then. This intercessor squad is a 10-man squad. James will get 2 shots. With this big thing in the way, he can see this squad over here. So 2 attacks need 3s. 1 hit comes through. And then you're looking for your strength against personnel.
Is 5.
5.
Plus.
Pretty effective, actually. 9 or 6. 9, yeah, it goes through. Yep, so that's done. Damage taken. The next squad here has more targets. You can pick on any of these infantry squads here.
Yeah, I would say target the same target.
Same target, yeah, okay. Trying to delete units here. So 3s, 2 hits.
5 pluses.
Pretty good. Okay, so that becomes a large blast mark here on this tower squad. They are in trouble now. Okay, Rhino out of range. Dreadnought's out of range as well, range 24, so that's that finished. So entire detachment here, we roll 4 dice for hit rolls.
Sensible.
Yeah, no, it's quick enough. All right, so the tower will now choose one of their detachments here. Right, so I've activated this detachment here. That's the snipers here, all out of range. This is aimed fire here, out of range of the commander. And then the 2 Skyrim missile defense ships will fire nicely in range. Barrage, we don't need to see the target. Going to fire against the Storm Raven gunship. So fire both of them here, needing it's 3+, -1 for James's flyer, and then +2 for our velocity trackers. So we're on 2s to hit here. We've rolled a 1. I don't think there's anything I can do about this one. No, there's nothing we can do. We'll leave that one. And then we'll go for a 6+. An 8. All right, so 1 small blast marker on the Storm Raven gunship. And that's that detachment finished. James will move on to one of his. So James will activate the fly here, and it's advance, so he'll move and shoot with the Storm Raven gunship. Right, so he's moved. Aggressive play here, and he's going to fire. So Hurricane Bolters.
Yeah, I'm going to fire
into the Fire Warriors on the end there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 2 shots in 3s.
3+ to hit. 1 hit. And strength against personnel is 7+ with D12. No.
No, all right, that's that done.
And
He's got plasma.
Plasma cannon, supercharged. So if I do that, it's +1 to wound. Which, if I roll a 1 to hit,
You'll take a small blast.
yeah.
Okay. Target. Okay, I'm just going after sniper drones here with this shot. So it's 1 attack.
Twin. So I presume
You get 2.
It's 2. Yep.
3s. 1 hit comes through. Wasn't a 1. Okay.
And strength against personnel is 7+. Nope.
1. Okay. Right, so you've got rockets here and the Typhoon missile launchers at the front as well. It's all going into long strike. Knew this would happen. James is going to go after him.
Storm strike rocket. Just 1 attack.
Sure.
Needing 3.
It's a 1. Okay.
Missed. And the missile launcher, Typhoon missile launcher, is 2 attacks. 3. So it's 2 hits.
Yep.
And strength against tanks is 7+.
It's not bad. 2 chances here. It's a pretty good weapon, actually, the Typhoon. James has got 1. Okay, so 1 small blast marker there against long strike. All right, so that's the shooting done, and that detachment's finished. The tower will now pick one of theirs. So I'm going to activate Shadow Sun. See, we're waiting to see the how far the Ultramarines move forwards, just to go in range of some of our guns. I'm actually going to activate these here at the back. That's Shadow Sun and the infiltrating units. It's aimed to fire. There's no targets, and that's it. I'm finished with those. That is done, and that'll let James activate one of his detachments now. Just watching to see where units move to, just to bring them closer, if they do move in, to bring them closer in range of some of the tower guns. Okay, so he's activating the Vindicators here. They'll move 12. It's an advance order here, so they'll move and then they will shoot. Okay, so Vindicators moving out here, Tank Marine behind and keep them within range 12. James is going to fire the first one. So you're going to fire at the Tower Fire Warrior Squad that already has the large blast marker on it here. So going to try and, not guarantee, but try and make sure that unit's destroyed.
So needing a 3+.
With 2 attacks.
1 hit. And strength against personnel is 6+. No, that would
2.
Destroyer hit as well.
Oh, Destroyer, nasty. What's their strength against tanks, just when they do fire at tanks? 6 as well. Good all-rounder then, with the Vindicators. Okay, so the next one, same target?
Yep.
2 attacks.
3s to hit. 1 hit. And strength, 6+ against personnel.
Yep. Got it.
That's it.
Becomes a large. Okay, nasty. All right, he's going to go after the same target again. Just wants to guarantee a destruction of unit here. Yeah, 2.
6+.
1 more, and I think that's going to be enough to destroy them. So I think now the Vindicators have moved in. There's not much chance of causing damage against them, but I want to save a couple of other detachments that I have left again, just to see where the Ultramarines move. So I'll activate these now, because I don't think there's going to be any targets that get any closer to the Fire Warriors. So you can guess what it is. It's aimed to fire here for this detachment. So we'll let loose with some pulse rifle firepower. All right, so firepower here with these. These DS8 turrets are insignificant here, just for show. So we'll leave them on though, because they do look very cool. Okay, so I'm going to fire all 4 squads into intercessors. They're all in range. I'm just going to combine it all together. It's 2 attacks per squad of these fire warriors here. So needing 3s to hit, +1 to hit rolls for aimed fire. Oh no, it's 4s to hit, +1 to hit rolls for aimed fire. Becomes 3s. So they've all hit. And then strength against personnel is 6 for pulse rifles. So the first 2. 1. Nope. 2. 3. 3. So that's 1 large blast marker and a small one. Okay, that's the whole gun line erupting here. It's not too much damage chance here for James. I don't think the squad's going to die. So
4 wounds.
4 wounds. Oh no, well then you're going to be
Power level 16.
Yeah, no, they're tough enough. All right, so the gun line's erupted here. So Devilfish out of range, and the Fireblade can no help. He gets a bonus if enemy units are within half range of the pulse rifles. So that is about it for that detachment. So detachment finished. We'll go now on to the next detachment that James has. He'll activate one. It's going to be this one here. Okay, which is advance. All right, so you can make a move here and some shooting as well with this detachment. All right, so movement complete. Predators have moved up. Here's the HQ. He's kept within 12 of the 2 whirlwinds there at the back. Okay.
That one.
Right, yes, he's going after this end squad of fire warriors.
Yep.
So
combining both into the same target.
Fine, okay, yeah, it speeds things up.
So 3s to hit. So it's 3 hits. Strength against personnel is 6+. Yes and yes, and yes.
Wow, triple 10.
So that's 3, well, 1 hit and a
Large block, yeah. Brilliant result. Whirlwind's proven to be very, very useful here. Yeah, no, brilliant. Predator Annihilators look pretty good. So this one here is going to fire against this end hammerhead gunship. So 3 attacks needing 3s.
3s to hit.
Oh, they've all hit. Okay.
And strength against armour
It's 5.
is 5.
Okay. 3 dice need 5s.
First one doesn't wound.
Yeah.
Next one does wound. First one does wound.
Large blast. Okay. So 1 large blast here against this hammerhead. Yeah, Kronos next then. 2 shots with the las cannons, which
Same target.
same target, right? Trying to guarantee kills here.
So las cannon hits. And damage. Fires against vehicles. Yep.
Got him. Okay, so that's a small blast marker. Yep.
Auto cannons, 2 shots.
Okay.
And in 2s because he's Kronos. And that's any one abilities? No. And autocannon is strength against tanks is 7+. That
Almost, no. Okay, so one small blast marker on this one. So angles here, struggling with this huge thing in the way here. This burnt out Baneblade. So he's going to fire against this devilfish over here with the las cannon shots. So 3 shots, need 3s. All hit again, well done. And then 5 pluses.
So first 2, 1 goes through.
Yeah.
Third one doesn't go through.
Okay, just the one. So detachment finished pretty quick. We'll let the tower proceed now. We'll have to activate. We've got 2 detachments left here to activate, and that'll be the tower complete. So I'll activate the Storm Surge here, and you can imagine what it is. It is aimed fire here, so +1 to the hit rolls. It's going to remain stationary, so it gets its stabilising anchors. We'll pick some targets here with this larger unit for the tower. So multiple targets have declared our shooting. The cluster rocket system is going to go into the infiltrators here. The pulse driver cannon is going to target the end predator, the one that's closest to us. I think they're the nastier unit here in Apocalypse 3 attacks each. Pretty good. So we'll go after that with the pulse driver cannon. And there we'll fire a destroyer missile into it as well. It's 1 use only, so 1 chance to use it in the game. We'll fire it now. 4+ to hit, aim to fire, 3+ to hit, and re-rolling 1s because we haven't moved, stabilising anchors. So the destroyer missile, first of all. Misses. There's nothing I can do about it, so that's gone. The pulse driver cannon. It's a cock dice. It's fine. It is a 4. It gets its hit. It is a 5+ on a D20.
D20?
That's a D12. Sorry. 3! Nothing I can do about that one either. Yeah, just checking focus fire. It's on the other predator at the other end, so don't get to reroll wounds against that tank. So the Storm Surge struggling here. Just looking to see what other weapons it has. That is it. So it's going to be the cluster rocket system. That is actually 8 attacks with that. Sounds pretty impressive. So we're against these infiltrators here. Reroll that one. And they've all hit except 1. And then it's going to be 8 required here. Strength against personnel. Yes, it's 8s here. So the first one, there's 1. Yes, 9. It's 2. No. 3. So 1 large blast marker and a small one. Pretty devastating here against infantry. The cluster rocket system. Tons of rockets headed off in this direction. It struck the infiltrators here. Right, so move on to the next detachment here. It's Storm Raven Gunship. This one has the twin melters and twin las cannons. And it's advanced, so James will move and shoot with this one. Right, so movement done. James will allocate his firepower here. It's screaming across the top of the tower lines. And he will let loose heavier guns here. Does this one have hurricane bolters?
No.
No, all right. So it's all heavy guns for this one. Okay, so he's going to let loose of all the heavy guns into the Storm Surge here. It is a 5-wind model here.
1 hit.
This is las cannons.
Yeah.
Okay. Strength against armor here is 5+.
Yep.
All right, so that's 1 blast mark so far. The rockets to fire and the melters as well.
That's the rockets is single dice.
Yep.
Hits and a 6+.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool, 12. Good roll.
And melty melt. Now this is where it gets really nasty.
Okay. 2 attacks with the multi-attack. Nasty enough here.
1 hit.
1 hit comes through.
With a 4+ to wound.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
9 easily. It's not destroyer, is it?
No.
No. Okay. Right. Okay. So 1 large blast marker and a small here on the Storm Surge. It's taking damage. So flyers finished. We'll go on to the last attachment for the tower. It's this one. It's aimed fire. We've got plenty of guns available here for these. Okay, so none of the units moving here for this. So we're going to fire this one here. First of all, I think I'm going to fire pretty much all of these ones here are going to go into the infiltrators here to try and delete those if we can. So 2 missile pod shots first of all. Remain stationary, so 3s to hit here. Yeah, 2 hits come through. So 6 is required here, 7, yes, and 10, yes. So that becomes a large blast marker plus the small. Okay, so infiltrators are in a bit of trouble here. Smart missile systems and also high yield missile pods to go into them as well. High yield missile pod, 1 hit. So 7, yep, so another one. And then the smart missile systems, 1 hit. It's a 7, yes. Oh, ouch. And then that's him complete. So that's that unit complete here. We'll check range. I think I'm just going to plough into these, try and make sure they got it. It's a big unit of infiltrators there. So 2 pods here, missile pods firing, 2 hits. 7s, no, and no. And then high yield missile pod, 1 hit. Nope, needing a 7. And then smart missile systems, 2 hits, 7s, double 10. Another large blast marker there on the infiltrators. So that's them resolved. Just using the best option there. Their weapons better against personnel. Then here we're going to offload all that we have with these to put the 2 missile pods. I reckon now we'll send them up here against the Storm Raven gunship. So we're going to let loose of all that we have. Okay, just going to fire the plasma rifles here. It's 6 attacks. It's 3 sets of 2. So there's 2 attacks each per model. It's rapid fire. So 12 minus 1. Yes. Okay. So 3's to hit becomes 4's to hit. Rerolling 1s because there is a marker drone in the squad. So those are misses.
Strength against vehicle
is a 7. And there is 7 to roll up here. So there's 1. So there's 2. There's 2. So on 2, no, and then the last one, no. All right, so 2. So 1 large blast mark here on the Storm Raven gunship from all that plasma. Heavy rail rifles here. 4's to hit rerolling 1s. They've all missed. I know, we needed them hits. Needed some kind of command asset to help out there. I was hoping for some kind of hits coming through, but no, it is 5's to get those wounds once the hits are made. So they've missed. Bit of contrast here. Heavy rail rifles, 0 impact, but the plasma weaponry on top here has been pretty effective. There's a lot of shots there at rapid fire range. Okay, so a couple of missile pod shots to go. It's missed. No, 1 hit and a reroll. Nope. And then a 7 required. No. All right. So that's their firepower resolved. All right. So Riptide here, fusion blasters into here, and then the ion accelerator into this Vindicator. So 4 shots to the ion accelerator, 3's to hit rerolling 1s. So we didn't supercharge. 6 plus. Yes, and yes, 10, 11. Okay, so it's a large blast marker on this Vindicator here. Fusion blasters now. 4's for hits. 1 hit comes through. 4 plus for damage. 2, no, plagued by bad rolls here this turn. The no damage has come through from the fusion blasters, and that is the Riptide's firepower complete. Yeah, I'm going to fire the Pathfinders up against the Flyer here. So its strength, its attacks times 2. So the large squad is 2. You're going to get 4 attacks in total for the carbines. Looking for 4's. And I'm no reroll 1s, no, because they don't have any drones to help them out. So that's their firepower resolved. Just looking perhaps to put another wound onto the Storm Raven. That is the firepower now from these resolved. Interesting results here. It's the infantry's taking a hammering. Some damage potentially can come through against the Flyer and the Vindicator as well. So how many detachments have you got left?
I've got 2 detachments.
2 detachments. We'll let James activate these and get these moving as well. All right. Yeah, sure. Right, so they're going to hold position in cover. The rest of the line's moved up, very straightforward, and James will get to shoot with some of these units. Okay, so James is readjusting here. Yeah, all within 12. So they shouldn't have moved. Okay, and the lieutenant's shifted across. All right, so let's move them complete. Rhinos, a little bit of firepower available from them, and that'll be this detachment finished. Yeah, infiltrators to shoot as well. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 Rhinos going to fire here against the Pathfinders. So James will just roll 3 at the same time, needing 3's. So 1 hit comes through.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's done. It's got a hit here. That's your strength against personnel here. So the Stormbolter's proving quite effective at striking against these Pathfinders here. Okay, so two shots here with the Infiltrators, needing 3s. They've missed. No wonder. Their probably heads are down here because of all the firepower that's come in against them. All right, detachment complete. So you well out of range with the. Can't see.
Can't see.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so James will activate his last detachment here. It's Guilliman and the rest of the models with his detachment. All right, so the line's advanced here, keeping up with the rest of the army here. You can see the general advance of James's Ultramarines across the board. Razorback's going to fire first of its twin heavy bolters into the Pathfinders.
1 hit. Reroll hit rolls because he's right next to Guilliman.
Yeah, Guilliman's buff kicking in here.
Yep.
6, nice.
And strength 7+, rerolling to wound because of Guilliman.
Oh dear.
Here we go again.
Here we go.
Rerolling to wound.
He's got 1.
No,
Just the one. Okay. So that can be swapped out for a large blast marker now. Okay. So yeah, Pathfinder's in trouble. Got a weak unit here behind the barricade. So James will pick another unit to shoot with now. Okay. Thunderfire Cannon's going to go against the broadsides here. 4 attacks, needing 3s. It's out of bubble range here.
Yep.
Strength against personnel.
9+.
9s, the off chance, no. Okay, 3 and 6 scored there. Alright, so be interesting when we come to the damage phase, see which units are tougher. Some have better save characteristics than others. There's barricades here to protect the tower and the infiltrators also. So we'll see what kind of benefits they grant as well. But to virtually finish the action phase here, looks like all the detachments have shot and moved. Here, James just has a couple of units left. Hellblasters still to go. So we're going to go into the Pathfinders. Not too many targets at the moment here. 6 and 5 is good shooting.
5s pluses to wound.
Okay.
Both wounded.
Ouch. It's another large blast marker on the Pathfinders, and they are in serious trouble here. Right, Guilliman's just going to shoot now. He's in range.
2+. 2 attacks. Rerolls to hit. Misses. Strength against personnel is 6+. Rerolling to wound.
10. Oh dear. Right, okay. That's against these. All right, bike squad now. 3+. I think this is James's last attack here.
Strength against personnel.
It's taken us a while getting used to the new stats here, but we're doing okay. It's actually got a win. Well done. Well done. Okay, so 3 large blast markers now on the Pathfinders. That's all the shooting done.
Yep.
There's no units in base contact, so this is it. This is finished now. We'll go on to the final phase here, damage phase, to see what units survive, what damage is taken. Okay, so we're going to resolve damage here. It's damage to be resolved, saving throws to be made, and then also morale tests to be made here as well. So an example here, this hammerhead's on a small blast marker and a large. Our save is 6+. So it is 6+ to try and block this one.
With a D6.
With a D6, nope. And then a 6+ on a D12 here to try and block the other one. You've rolled a 4, no. So that's foul, 2 wounds taken. That's destroyed.
Yep.
So that was quick. She's gone. As this one here's taken a small blast.
D12.
So we really would like to try and pass this one here, if we can. Okay. 7. Okay, so hammerhead number 2 is okay. So this one's passed. I still have to take morale hits. Whenever you take blast marker hits, so there's morale tests to be made here for hammerhead number 2, just to represent crews trying to deal with fires, damage, crews abandoning the vehicle, and so on. So a D12 here to be rolled. So leadership of 6, 2. That is a pass. There's no blast markers to be added on. You add that onto the result. So 6 is fine. Morale holds here for the hammerhead gunships. He's fresh, but one of them has been lost and destroyed. Okay, so we'll leave some of these on the table just for visual purposes here. So part of the wreckage left from that hammerhead. That's an example. We're going to go through all the damage here, morale tests to do. We'll see which units survive and how much damage is taken. All right, so damage and morale has been resolved across the board here. We saw the destruction of this hammerhead. The Tower Firewall squad that was hammered has been destroyed. The Devilfish Passed its large blast or small blast marker roll, busted morale. So has taken a wound, is now critically damaged. Here, fouled one, critically damaged, 1 wound taken on the Fire Warriors there, but still 3 of the squads remain. Predator destroyed. It was overwhelmed by the firepower coming through. Round here, James passing his saves, passing morale. No problem. I think there's one left on this one. Did you roll that one? This one here.
I've got to do that now.
So
D12, 6 plus save.
11, alright, that's good. And then there's morale to do for him as well.
They show no fear. Yep,
3
right.
passed, alright, so that's the process we've been using here. It's gone through okay. You can see the infiltrators are gone. They've been destroyed. Loads of hits coming through. So to the Pathfinders, they're gone as well. 1 wound taken. Morale passed on the Storm Raven gunship. And then round here, not such good results on the Storm Surge. It has taken 2 wounds. It is a 5 wound model. It's not critically damaged yet, but 2 wounds have come through already against that. And that's damage resolved here. So we've played 1 turn of Apocalypse now. Oh,
Critically damaged.
critically damaged on this one here. Damage has been not devastating. Tower have lost some infantry here. One of the hammerheads has gone. Same here for the Ultramarines. Similar kind of damage done. But the game seems to, first impressions from a turn, flows nice enough. Well, you know the stats. Yeah, what slowed us down is learn the new stat lines here. But a lot of the logic from 40k, a lot of the rules that we already know, like ranges of weapons, is fine. That's
I like it a lot.
that's pretty obvious for us. That's helped out. But learning the new stats, I think, strength against tanks and personnel, those kind of numbers to remember, is what slowed us down to some degree. But as far as the game itself, seems to flow really well. Looks pretty good as well. So turn 1 finished. We'll calculate victory points here. So the Tower get 1 point this turn. They control 3 objectives. James controls 3, I think. Yes. Yes, and yes, yeah, you control 3. It's a draw, but the defender gets the point. So Tower kick off with a point. They should have got the point, and they have. So the Ultramarines are going to need to continue to press forwards here. They've got to drive the Tower off of one of these objectives. But the Ultramarine Assault is well and truly underway. There's been an initial exchange of firepower here, but still both sides very much in this fight at this stage. Both sides also have reserves they can bring into the fight here. The Tower have got a battlesuit ambush they can bring in, potentially. James has a similar deep striking unit available as well. We'll see if the reserves are committed as we go into turn 2 now. That's coming up next. Okay, so we're on turn 2, about to roll off for initiative here, just to give you an idea of what's going on in the game. If the Tower continue to hold 3 objectives here, they will win this battle. So there is pressure on the Ultramarines, and it's 1 point being picked up per turn. So James must kick off the tower from one of the objectives, at least this turn or next turn. Otherwise, the tower would have picked up too many points. Or James has to go for the wipeout here, which may well prove difficult. So that's the situation here. Ultramarines, I think, may need to get a move on with some of these detachments here and put them into assault here to get that extra movement with them to drive them up onto the tower position. But we'll see. We'll go on to the next turn. We'll see who has the initiative. For rolled an 11. James has rolled a 2. The tower have the initiative. We'll start. We'll put our orders down here. We'll draw cards and then start activating these detachments. Right, so cards have been drawn here for the tower. They pulled out another 6, so we've got 9 in play here at the moment. And James has pulled out a load of cards, another 8 here for him to use. He may, if he doesn't use them up, have to discard some of them back down to 10 in total. Orders have been granted here as well, so the tower will select one of their detachments to go first here. Right, so we're going to start. I've picked this one here. The hammerheads, just 3 of them left now of the 4. Aimed fire. Smart missile systems and the burst cannon from this one are going to go into the Storm Raven gunship. 2 rail gunshots, including long strikes, going to go after Kronos. This one we can't see, so we're going to shoot at the Dreadnought with the hammerhead just over here. So burst cannons then, firing into this. 3s to hit becomes 2s to hit, -1 for the flyer. 3s to hit here. 2 hits come through. And then we'll be looking for 9s here. Got one. Okay, so small blast marker on the Storm Raven gunship. Smart missile systems will do long strike first of all because he'll be on 2s to hit. 1 hit, and then the other will be on 3s. Okay, so 2 hits in total, and again, it's 9s required. 777. No, okay, so that's it. That's the smaller firepower done. Now down to the railgun shots. So fire these 2 together, declare them against the target, going after Kronos. It's both 2s to hit here, so we'll do one at a time because I've got some cards on standby that might be able to help us out. So 2s here with this hammerhead, he's hit. And then rolling up to wound here, 9, it's a wound that comes through. It's a destroyer, yeah, so it's a large blast marker here on Kronos, nasty enough. Long strike next with his shot, he's got a hit, and again, roll into wound. It's a 4. Like, I don't think that's going to be enough here. No, 4 is enough. It's a very powerful weapon. Another large blast marker can go on Kronos. Just there. He's in some trouble. Okay. And then we'll put a shot into the Dreadnought here as well. So that'll be on 2s to hit, thanks to long strike being nearby. It does hit. And then a 4 or more. A 12, okay, so yeah, a large blast marker next to the Dreadnought. Good shooting here from the hammerheads, finding their mark here and putting some serious damage onto the advancing Ultramarines. That's that detachment done. We'll go on to one of James's detachments next. Okay, so James is going to activate one of his detachments. Just played Orbital Iron Beam here, and I've put a small, ran the line through here, 12 inches. Hit the bikers, small blast on them, and the Librarian's taken a small blast marker as well. Alright, so James has activated Kronos and his detachment here, controlling objective number 3 at the moment. It is aimed fire, so these units halting position, and it's some counter fire taking place here. So you're going to be on 2s to hit with Kronos, and he's going to shoot at long strike here.
1 hit only.
7's to damage the tank, so 4, okay. And then the autocannon next, which is in range. He's fired the autocannons, that's the 7s, okay. So laser cannons now to fire. Hit the target.
5 to wound. Yep.
Got it. All right. So a small blast marker can go on to long strike. Okay, still alive here. I've already died first turn, but the tank's still alive. Okay, so Hunter Killer Missile being played here. It's a brilliant asset here. Just needs a hit. It's got it. It's 2's hit, isn't it?
Yep.
Great. Okay, 2 blast markers on long strike. It's been struck by a missile here. Nasty. Okay. Okay, this one, again, can't see because this burning Baneblade is going to go after the Riptide, which can be seen and is in range.
+1 hit because of the...
Aimed fire, yeah, 2s, nice. They all hit, uh-oh. And it's 5s, isn't it, on D12s?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one, wounds, second one, wounds,
Oh, no.
third one, wounds.
Oh, those Predators have to go. All right, so that's a large blast marker and a small on the Riptide. Good shooting here from the Predators. There's the Whirlwind still to shoot here. So going after the infantry here, the Tower Fire Warriors unit on the end. So 3s to hit.
2s to hit as part of the detachment.
Yes, sure, great.
I'll reroll that.
Oh, aim to fire, yes, yeah, +1 to the hit rolls.
And it is 6 pluses to wound. So the first one, no, and the other one doesn't wound.
Oh, okay, right, whirlwinds.
Repeat the process for the other one.
Oh, 2 shots at a time, yeah, okay. So the next one coming in,
Hit.
gets the hits. Bound to get 1. No.
No.
And the last chance, 12, got 1. Okay, so small blast marker next to the Tower Fire Warrior squad on the end. I think that's the detachment finished. Yes, okay, alright, so we'll press on to the next detachment now for the tower. Okay, so I've activated the Storm Surge here. James is activating one of his detachments at the moment, so he's going to move the other Storm Raven. But the weaponry is fired here. Pulse Driver Cannon did put a large blast marker on the Vindicator. And then across here we fired the rest of our weapons and put a large blast marker and a small onto the Storm Raven gunship. That's the air bursting fragmentation projector, the smart missile systems, and the cluster rocket system as well. As 3s to hit, we've aimed to fire, -1 for the flyer, and then re-rolling 1s as well. We did get some pretty good hits coming through and rolling high on a number of dice there with the D12. So James is going to resolve his firepower here with his Storm Raven gunship that's just moved. Alright, firepower's resolved. 2 hits on the Fire Warriors from Hurricane Bolters, and the rest of the firepower here has put a small and a large blast marker on the Storm Surge. Oh dear, more damage coming through. Okay, so that's that one done. We'll go on to a Tower Detachment next. Alright, so I activated this detachment here. Aimed fire, so giving them 3s to hit, re-rolling 1s as well, because of the marker drones that's inside these units helping them out. Does make them much more reliable. So drones are useful enough. We put 3 large blast markers on this run. I want to try and crack out James's infantry squads here to try and pick on them with the firepower. So we've gone after this Rhino. Should be in trouble. And then the heavy rail rifle firepower coming through. 2 large blast markers on the central. No, it's the one on the end just there. Has taken that. And then fusion blasters here. Strike and fade. It's for Delef Sept. We're Tau, but we can instead you can use it to take a Tau Empire unit and reroll a wound roll. So I found one with a fusion blaster, rerolled it and got the wound. And the second one came through as well. It's a 2-shot weapon and another large blast marker added to the Storm Raven gunship. So that's in some trouble now. Tower firepower is pretty good so far. A fair amount of damage coming through here against the Ultramarines. James will pick a detachment to fire next. Yeah, it's this detachment here. You can see James has moved the models. Yeah, critical damage doesn't slow the model down, so it's moved up, but it's -1 to the hit rolls. 2, it's a nasty weaponry here. 2 large blast markers on this unit, 2 large blast markers on the Devilfish. James would have fired them all here, but this one over here was out of range 24. That's that detachment done. We'll go on to a Tower Detachment next. Right, so we activated this detachment here. Again, aimed fire. Snipers firing down with the help of the marksman here. I used a reroll 1 for a hit roll. Here, adaptive camouflage, we can't use it because it's Delef Sept. So instead we use the reroll there for the hit roll. We put 1 small blast marker on the infantry here. We fired 1 shot at the Rhino and no damage coming through. And then the Skyray missile defense ships and the commander as well with his plasma rifle firing through. And we have caused now just 1 large blast marker on the Storm Raven gunship. That's the smart missile systems and the Seeker missiles firing. Right, so there's this detachment here. You can see they're moving up across the hill. It does look pretty impressive here. They've reached the burnt out wreck of the Baneblade here and the apex of this hill and closing in against the Fire Warriors. Small blast marker on here. And on this squad now, a total of 2 large blast markers and a small blast marker as well. That Tau infantry squad in big trouble. So that's that detachment complete. Dreadnought now starting to be in range. Great to see those striding across the battlefield here. All right, so this detachment's order was to aim fire, so +1 to our ballistic skill. A lot of misses though. 1 hit coming through but no wound against the intercessors. That was from this squad. Only 1 shot from them now that they're critically damaged. But both these units here, it's interesting, they're within 6 inches of the Fireblade. He boosts their attacks by 1. So 2 attacks each becomes 3 attacks each for these squads. Then rapid fire, put some rapid fire shots into these Vindicators, and managed to put 1 small blast marker on that one, but a lot of shots coming through. That was 6 shots from each of those squads, but needing 9s for strength against tanks. This one fired, put a large blast marker with the drones and the burst cannon onto the flyer, so a great result there with the Devilfish, and the other Devilfish firing through as well, put a small blast marker on the Vindicator, this Vindicator here, so 1 coming through against that. So Devilfish firepower is actually proved more effective than the Tau infantry this term. That's that detachment complete. We'll go on to detachment now for James. Alright, so it's this Storm Raven activator. You can see it's moved across. It fired everything it had into the Storm Surge, and a total of 2 wounds. So now we have a total of 2 large blast markers and 1 small. So Storm Surge taking a lot of hits. We'll go on to Tau detachment here. I've got 1 left. That's Shadow Sun and her units. So the order was advanced, so we've managed to move some units here. It's not as effective ballistic skill, but we've managed to put some more blast markers, 1 large and 1 small, on the Storm Raven gunship over there. So surely that's destroyed now. Then this one could fire through here, and we've put a small blast marker onto the other Storm Raven gunship. I think that one is not going to die at maybe half damage. I think it's going to come through, but the other one over there is stacked up and is surely doomed. That's all of the Tau detachments complete now, so that's the turn finish for them. James has a few detachments here, and then all of his forces will have done their actions. So at this detachment here, you can see how far it's moved forward. It's almost reached the Tau lines here, and the damage that's come through.
Bolter did a damage there.
Small blast marker, yep, okay.
And
that's another small one here.
Yeah.
And
that's from the Hellblasters.
From the Hellblasters, okay. And that's about it, okay. Yeah. So 1 detachment left?
1 detachment left. That's Guilliman.
Yes.
I've changed my mind about advance. He's going to assault.
Right, okay.
Because of his special role.
Right,
So
okay.
he gets to move twice.
Yeah, double speed, okay. So him and his detachment.
60.
Okay, here he comes. This is the hope the Ultramarines have of taking objective here. Guilliman's moving up very, very quickly indeed. Dreadnought moved up. James left him behind, so we've let him move him. Dreadnought shot at the Devilfish, which already has 2 large blast markers, and missed. But he's going to double speed here with these units. Yes, the bikers moving up.
Actually, you can go up to 28.
Yeah, if you want to. Okay, so it's just moves being made here because with advance, there's no shooting involved. Yeah, okay, so we're all resolved here, and we'll go on to damage and morale next. Alright, so damage being resolved here. Long Strike's dead. I found an armour save on one of the small blast markers, and then the other large blast marker, Long Strike, is gone, so we need to sort out a new commander here for this detachment. And then across here, Tau infantry overwhelmed, unit destroyed by all of the blast markers on that. This unit passed a small blast marker on there, all 7, so they are okay for being behind the barricade. So that's this side done. There's damage on the other side for the Tau. Right, so been resolving morale at the same time here. Blast marker saved, small blast marker, and morale passed for these. Then just rolling very, very low for all other morale rolls here, 1s and 2s and 5s across the board here. So morale for the Tau is excellent. The Imperial helping out with his leadership here for these units. Shield drones in amongst these squads helping out as well, giving them a decent armour save. Just taking 1 damage here on this larger squad of broadsides. They're fine. It's 1 damage here, critically damaged on this one. Morale's held. Across here, just 1 damage taken on the Riptide. The shielded missile drones, again, helping out with that. Storm Surge, I did play Armour of Contempt here to try and reduce the damage coming through, but still 3 wounds taken. It's now critically damaged and in serious trouble. So, damage for the Ultramarines here. This one's wrecked, by the way. We're going to figure out what happens when the infantry squad gets out. The Librarian died. That was the Orbital Iron Beam. He succumbed to that and has gone. You can see the 2 Vindicators destroyed as well. So Tau firepower really beginning to take its toll here on these heavier vehicles. And then Kronos here is critically damaged here with the wounds that he's taken. And then it's 1 wound each on these intercessor squads. Just here, this Storm Raven gunship survived, 1 wound taken, and critically damaged. Yeah, it's on its last wound. I've put another marker on there. Okay. And then the other Stormraven gunship, long gone, destroyed and blown out of the sky. Damage-wise, I think the tower causing more damage here to the advancing Ultramarines, losing a good number of tanks this turn, some heavy damage coming through. And the broadsides being particularly resolute here, tough enough to try and destroy it. That's the end of the turn. So damage phase resolved. The tower going to pick up another point here this turn. They hold 3 objectives. James holds 3. So the tower pick up a point here on turn 2. They will win this apocalyptic fight here if things continue as they are. James must try and seize one of these objectives on turn 3 coming up next. So we're on turn 3 here, just panning around the table just to give you an idea of what's going on. James putting down his order markers here. Cards have been drawn. The disembarked unit has to be placed within 6 inches of where the model was, so James has placed them here. It's the Devastator squad have just emerged. Now all of a sudden, objective number 6 looks like it could be in trouble. If James goes for the assault here, this is where the tower will need to repulse the Ultramarines at close quarters. We'll go on to turn 3. We'll organise cards here, put some orders down and start activating these detachments. This is the critical point. James must get the tower off of one of these objectives if he's to stand a chance in this game. I think he realises the pressure here at this stage. This is the crucial turn here in this fight. Right, so we're on turn 3 here. Some major developments at this point in the game. Orders have been granted here. Reinforcements have arrived, not for the Ultramarines, but the Tau have decided to bring Commander Ghosttide down. He's arrived down here, give more than 9 inches away from enemy units. It doesn't count as a move action landing here, so these will be able to move off if they wish, or I could give them aimed fire just to increase their ballistic skill, possibly. That's the order that's been given. James has then immediately placed Orbital Strike and Orbital Barrage on these, so a bit of counter artillery going to take place here. The Tau have an asset they can use as well, potentially also. Okay, so initiative. Who won the initiative? James did. All right, so he's going to pick detachment to go first. Yeah. All right, so Guilliman's detachment selected. It was Assault. He's gone in, made it into close combat here and dealt out with his Emperor's Sword. 2 large blast markers against the Fire Warriors, so ouch, they've been hit hard here. The Bikers in combat but didn't do any damage, and the Razorback moving up double speed as well. So the Ultramarines are piling in now into the Tau position here. That's that detachment done. We're going to a Tau detachment next. So just before we activate one of our detachments here, Orbital Barrage and Orbital Strike being played across here. These, no damage. All of them within 6 of both of these barrages. The point coming down here. Large blast marker taken on this Crisis Battlesuit. A small on the Commander and a small here on this squad. And that's all the damage that came through. A number of results there. Not scoring. They're scoring very low and not getting any blast markers on those units. Okay, so we'll pick a detachment now for the tower here. A chance to... We've really got to try and hit the Ultramarines harder, try and blunt this attack here at this stage. This is the most important turn of the game so far. So we went with the Storm Surge here. It's critically damaged. So -1 to hit rolls, but still 4s to hit. With aimed fire was the order, and re-rolling 1s as well for stabilising anchors. Did manage to put, with the air-bursting fragmentation projectors, the smart missile system, and the pulse driver cannon as well, firing through 2 large blast markers on the Vindicator. Used a re-roll to wound there with orbital marker distribution uplink. Didn't use the main power, but you get a re-roll wound as an alternative option to help put the second wound through. So 2 large blast markers on the 3rd and final Vindicator from that unit. Fired air bursting fragmentation projectors as well at the Stormraven gunship, but no damage coming through. So that's that one done. We'll go on to an Ultramarine detachment next. Right, Stormraven gunship, this one, the one that's left, has moved across, is critically damaged, but still managed to get some hits, firing all of its weapons down here. This broadside, 1 large blast marker and 1 small on that one. Right, so I'm going to activate these. Aimed fire with them is the order, so we're just going to hold position and shoot. We've had a break here and have come back to the game. We've been using our phones. You download the data sheets and you can use a tablet or a phone. We're scrolling through the pages and it has been slowing things down a little bit. So what we've done is printed out these cards here. Let's get 4 to a page. That's about as small as you can get, so you can see the text here. And then we've placed them around the board wherever the relevant units are. So there's the Riptide, that's the print off, and it gives you all the weapons and all the details there. And so having to go through the digital download, it's pretty useful having these on the table. So I think that's going to speed things up for us as well, but something for others to bear in mind looking to play this system as well. It's a whole new system here. It is different to 40k, it plays differently, so there is quite a learning curve involved, but we are enjoying it here. I'm going to fire the Riptide here, so Ion Accelerator's going to go into this Vindicator. We want to try and take that one out, and then Fusion Blasters into the Storm Raven. I'm going to put the shielded missile drones as well into the Devastator squad. So 2 shots with them, 1 hit, and then it is a 6 or more. No, 5. Okay, so that's that one done. Ion Accelerator next. Ion Accelerator needs 4s, that's 2 hits coming through, and then to wound with that, this is against the Vindicator here, and he's a 6. Not going to supercharge, and 1 comes through, so 1 small blast marker on the Vindicator. It's already on 2 large, so that should be enough to bring it down. Then we'll go for the Fusion Blasters. Need 4s, 1, and then I need 5s actually because of the flyer. Yeah, it is 4s. 3s because aimed fire, and then -1. So then a 4 to put a wound on there. It's a 7, yes. So 1 small blast marker on the Storm Raven gunship. That's the Riptide, firepower complete. Alright, broadsides next. 2 missiles or missile drones into the Devastators. Just the 1 hit. And 7. Yes, wound comes through against them. So small blast marker on the Devastators. Okay, next, plasma rifles. 2 shots on each of these. We're going to go into the Storm Raven gunship, and it's rapid fire, so that's going to become 12 shots here. Need 4s. So there's a load of hits here. 7 in total. So I'm going to roll some of these here, needing 7s. So 1, 2, and then we'll just roll 2 more. Just the 2. Alright, so a large blast marker here on the Storm Raven gunship. Next, the heavy rail rifles are going to go into this Rhino here. So 4s, just the 1 hit comes through, and a 5 or more. Yep, just a small blast marker now, just on this Rhino here. So going to fire these into the Devastators. We can try and take them out if we can. So 2 shots of missile pods here, first of all. 2 hits. And then we'll roll up to wound here. It's going to be 6s. 7 and 2. Alright, so 1 small blast marker on the Devastators so far. Yeah, there's already 1 on there. So that becomes a large. So high yield missile pods. Next is 4 shots. 2 shots. 2 hits. And it's going to be 7s here, strength against personnel. 1 comes through. Okay, so small blast marker on the Devastators here. Need to blast these, a lot of hits. It's a full 10-man squad. Smart missile systems. Next 2 shots. Need 4s is the 1 that comes through. And that's going to be 7 again against infantry. 5, no, alright, so that's that one done. We'll fire the next one against the same target here. Going to try and cause trouble here for the Devastators. So the 2 missile drones, 2 hits, 8 and 6, yeah, 1 comes through, so that's going to be, now becomes a large on them. High missile pod, 1 hit comes through, or 2 hits come through. 7s, yep, 1 more. So we'll put a small on these, and then finally smart missile systems, 2 hits, and a 12 and a 2. So another wound comes through. It's another large blast marker in total. Devastator's been hit hard here. Tons of missile shots coming through from these broadsides. So that's that detachment resolved. Just showing you again how it's pretty quick and pretty effective here. One thing we're noticing in this game as well is that deadly turn 1 in Apocalypse has vanished now. It's not as significant. It's very fair. Units are getting to shoot, so that's been ironed out very nicely indeed. It's a good flow here to it, good structure to this game, so looking positive enough. And we're just sort of learning the rules. You gradually learn the stats here, and the game's starting to flow along quite well. That's that detachment finished. We'll let James take action now, activate one of his remaining detachments. It's this detachment here, which is not much left to it really. One Vindicator and a Tech Marine. Vindicator's fired through though, got a wound through there. It's Destroyer, so it's a large blast marker here on these. This unit here has 3 wounds. It's already taken 1 large blast marker on it now as well, so approaching critical damage for that. Alright, we're going to a Tau detachment. Not many left here for the Tau. Okay, so I've activated this detachment here. It's just arrived. Checking the rules, it says that units that arrive from reserve, the actual arrival doesn't count as movement or a move. So the order that I had was advance. I then played this card here, set Overwatch, which I'm going to switch that green over to an aimed fire. We reckon they'll benefit from that because they're not going to move at all. So they'll get the aimed fire bonus, and then also going to play KOYO as well, which means units within 12 and get to re-roll their hit rolls for shooting. So that's the way the rules are worded there, so that's the way we're going to play it. So we're just going to sit and shoot with this ambush here of Crisis, Battlesuits and Commander. So usually it's quadruple fusion blaster, but it's different now for Apocalypse. The Commander has the high output burst cannon, and it seems slightly better against infantry, so I'm going to put him into this front squad here, and it's going to be... I know he gets 4 attacks, so that's not bad. He's going to get plenty of shots here. So we're aiming to hit first of all. The Commander's ballistic skill is a 2+, and we can reroll to hit rolls for KOYO, so they've all hit the target here, 4 hits. It's actually not too bad, actually, this weapon. 8s, so there's 1. And then that's the other 2. No, a couple falling short there. Okay, so just the 1 small blast marker on that squad just there. Yep, okay, done. Not too bad. So there's a lot of things simplified here, really noticing that as well, which is helping to speed things up. Drones here, unit of 8 of those. Again, we'll go into this front squad here. So threat identification protocols here, they actually have to go into that. Yeah, same as regular 40k. So 5s for hits with these. Rerolling to hit KOYO. Still failed. We'll do these as well into the Whirlwind, and we can reroll these. Not very good at all. And then it's going to be rolling up to 11. Yeah, okay. Small blast marker on this one here. That's the drone's firepower complete. 1, 2, 3 units of battle suits to shoot with next. I'm interested to see how well these perform. I'm going to let loose with these now. Alright, so it's fusions here. These two squads here are fusion blasters. These ones have plasma, so we'll go for fusion blasters first of all for this squad just here. So 3 shots into the Predator. We'll re-roll these. It's aimed fire, 3+. Missed, so 2 have got through.
4+, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it is. Fusion Blaster's pretty nasty here. Yeah, 4+. 4 and 8, yeah. So 1 large blaster on here. We'll do the second unit. Same target. They've all hit this time. Leading 4s. There's another 2. And the last one is a 9 as well. Okay, so 1 more small blast marker on that Predator. It is in trouble now. This one here with the plasma rifles. We might be in rapid fire range. Might put some more shots into this one. So 6 shots. It is in rapid fire of the Whirlwind hit. Reroll this one. Okay, so it's 5. And the plasma rifle is a 7 here against vehicles. So there's 5 to do in total. Those 2 have failed. 1's got through, and the last one. No, alright, so just the 1. That turns into a large blast. Not so effective here. I think the fusion blasters have proved to be nastier. And that is it. Yeah, those plasma rifles, there's 2 1s in there we rolled for wounds, so I'm going to reroll those because of the gun drone present in the squad. And that becomes another wound there on him. Okay, you need to remember that drone's been placed here. It's shield drones granting. Shield drones in the squad, like for this commander here, gives +1 to saves. It's gun drone, reroll wound rolls of 1. Marker drone, reroll 1s for shooting. It's just the benefits that drones can grant to the units. That's all the firepower resolved now from this detachment. Right, so we're on Ultramarine detachments. This detachment here, I've just played Minefield, so that will go off all the units need to roll any 1s on a d6. They will take a small blast marker. So James is rolling up here. He's rolled a 1 for the Rhino, so it's taken a small blast. Intercessors are okay, and they're okay. And lastly, the Dreadnought, close, and the Chaplain. Close, a lot of 2s being rolled. Okay, but just the Rhinos set one of them off with its tracks. We'll let this detachment make its moves and actions here. Alright, James just rolling for damage here with the Dreadnought. 1 comes through. That's against them.
Yep.
Okay, we'll take that small. Replace it with a large.
Storm bolter into the drones. 3s. Hits, and I need a 9. No.
Close, okay. So that's Dreadnought done. These squads have fired down. 2 large blast markers on here now in total. So some pretty good results. A large blast marker on here as well. So there will be damage coming through here against the Crisis teams. Okay, so that's that detachment done. I think the Tau have 2 left here. The infantry behind the barricades and the Devilfish. And then they also have this detachment down here as well. Alright, so I activated these. You can see that breaches have filled the gaps here. They've both come out of the 2 transports. The strike team here and the breaches fired into the combat. You're allowed to with the Tau, -1 to the hit rolls. Even these supporting units can do it. We've put 2 large blast markers on the bikers. That's sort of representing some deadly overwatch there from the Tau. It's a different way of doing it here with this rule system, but it seems pretty good. And we fired across here with these. No damage there against the Intercessor squad. And then we fired the 2 Devilfish, taking into account their damage. And we managed to turn one of the small blast markers into a large there on the Vindicator. That's that detachment done. They were on aimed fire, and that would have prevented the breaches from disembarking. So we played Signal the Advanced and switched it to an advance order instead, and then that let the breaches disembark and support the main gun line. So Tau gun line looking pretty good here at this stage, still manning the barricades and keeping the Ultramarines at bay, except Guilliman, who's ploughed into that squad on the end, may well wipe them out. Alright, so it's this detachment here, Captain Akaran, it's advanced, moving up. A little bit restrictive with the attack here. Captain Akaran, James need to keep units within that range of 12. In fact, the Devastators had to pull back a few inches just to maintain coherency here. Don't want to lose any units from going astray. So these have had to pull back. Rhinos have moved up. So shots coming through. So where did you damage this? On here? Some damage on this one?
Yeah, that was from the...
It was Devastators firing through, isn't it? And then you put a wound on the Riptide?
Yes.
As well. That was a multi-melter shot coming through. The Dreadnought firing in support as well. Devilfish put a wound on that as well. Okay, so that's the shooting done from that detachment. The Tau have 1 detachment left. Okay, so there's actually 2 detachments left. So I've activated the hammerheads here. Both railguns failed to cause any damage here. Got our hits, but rolled dreadfully for our wounds. We played this Tau Empire asset here, Seeker Missiles, 2+ for a hit, and it's a large blast marker against Kronos here, so that asset has come in useful. Okay, alright, so it's Kronos' detachment here. He's fired through and put a small blast marker on this hammerhead here. This one missed some targets, didn't it, because of its...
No, it was the autocannon that missed.
Yes, because of the damage.
Did the damage.
Yes.
Hammerhead.
And this one?
That one did another damage.
Well, a small blast marker on the Riptide, that's now turned into a large. Then a total of 1 large blast marker. That was the Whirlwinds firing through against the Breachers. Okay, so that's that detachment done. So at the Tau, I've got this detachment. Actually got that one there as well. So we'll activate... May as well do this one here. Okay, aimed fire, so a bit of firepower support here. The Sky Ray is pretty useful. I think we'll direct some shots into the Storm Raven with them. Right, so it's this detachment here. Snipers, one of them could see through to the intercessors, but no wounds coming through. Fired all the smart missile systems and the seeker missiles, and put a total of 1 small blast marker on the Storm Raven gunship. That's that detachment done. James will go on to one of his next. Alright, so this detachment here, needing to hold this objective really, so sort of holding position here with the lieutenant. Hellblasters moved forward a bit. They fired, they missed, overcharged, and 1 being rolled, then a 1. So a small blast marker on them. Bit of a disaster from them. Usually they're the kings of 40k, but they're struggling here in this game. And that's about it. What damage did you cause on? It was the Thunderfire cannon coming through. Put a small blast on the unit of breachers. Okay, so that's that detachment done. There's 1 left here for the tower. It's Shadow Sun herself, the 2 ghost kills, and the stealth team. They have an advance order for them, so they can move and make a shooting action. So yeah, last detachment here for the tower, and for this turn, it's Shadow Sun. Moving around with these units, just got an advance move for them. So relocating, 2 ghost kills moving ahead. They offloaded all their weapons into the Razorback, but not too much damage, just 1 small blast marker on the Rhino. That's the end of the action phase. We'll go now on to damage here and morale for units that have taken damage. Alright, so we're on damage here, so pretty good results. This squad did take damage, so critically damaged here. This commander's got an Enforcer battlesuit. James is rolling up morale for some of his units, and damage as well. He's just removed the Storm Raven, that's gone. Enforcer, you get to remove a blast marker, small blast marker, so that's gone, and then he's passed morale. Down here, passed morale and saves made, and then here as well, double 6 rolled for those 2 large blast markers, so past that and past morale as well. It's looking very, very healthy here for this assault at the back. Round here, both these squads, the situation with them, both critically damaged on 2 wounds each. Miraculous escape played here, and morale passed on Kronos, so he's still alive. James passed morale and saves here on this, so that's still alive as well. So a lot of survivability going on for both sides in this corner. The breachers they found now critically damaged on a wound. And then round here, past morale, past the small blast marker with Hammerhead number 2, so he's survived just this. That's this side of the table done. We'll get damage and morale resolved around the other side of the board here. Okay, so yeah, Storm Raven removed from play. James played Go to Ground, very useful actually. It helped to keep the Devastators alive, but they are critically damaged, a wound taken. Morale is okay for them. Then Vindicator destroyed, here that's gone. Just as I thought my Tau gun line looked pretty healthy, the breaches collapsed, they've gone. The strike team here as well destroyed also, just a lot of blast markers stacked up against them, and they're removed from play. And then across here, we passed our save but busted morale here for this broadside, so that's removed from play. It's only 1 wound, it's just a single model unit. And then across here, we passed our save, even though it was a large blast marker, just the shield drone helping out with them, and then passed morale as well using the Ethereal's leadership. There's a good combo going on here. Ethereal for leadership is useful for the tower because that can be where you can take damage, and these shield drones being attached, boosting an already strong armor save here for these broadsides, making them very resolute indeed. So looking pretty strong in Apocalypse. The broadsides pretty good. That is all the damage resolved here. Ultramarine attacks going okay. We'll calculate points here. I think the tower picked up a point though this turn. They still hold this objective. They still hold this objective here, objective number 5, and then around the other side very comfortably on objective number 4. And now they actually hold objective number 1, 1, 2 units, 3. We'll check this actually. This is going to be pretty tight, but it's 6-inch range here for controlling objectives. But still the tower pick up the point. We'll just see if they actually control this one here. Yeah, no, James controls it here. These, because they're part of a battalion, gain objective secured. We don't have a similar ability. So, yeah, no, it's similar to regular 40k here. You have control of this objective still. But still, It's a drawn amount here, and Tau will still pick up the point. So it looks like victory could go. I think it's going to go to the Tau here in this game. James needed to control an objective here at this turn at least. So we'll go on to turn 4 now. So we'll tidy up the table here, roll off for initiative, and start the process of turn 4. Alright, so we're on turn 4. I've tidied the table up here. Orders have been issued, cards have been generated here. We reckon that the Ultramarines, well, we know they've lost now, that they can't pick up enough points here. So we're going to play on for glory here for the Ultramarines, and the Tau will be happy to try and perhaps try and slay Guilliman if they can. But no, we'll keep going because we're trying to learn the rules here as best as we can, and it's enjoyable as well, and this game doesn't look concluded. There's still plenty of units left on the table. James won the roll-off, so he will activate one of his detachments next. Alright, so across here, this detachment's taken some damage. Orbital Bombardment and another similar card as well. A total of Orbital Strike coming down, directed against here again. So a small blast marker on the commander and a large here in total. The others are missed though, a lot of misses coming through. And I played Medicae supplies just before that happened, so that took away one of the damage markers on these. So that's that resolve. That all happens during the action phase. Then around here, movement's taken place. James activated this detachment here. Guilliman strided into combat here against the broadsides, delivering 2 destroyer tokens against them. So they're in serious trouble now. And then the other units scrambling up, trying to keep within range 12 here for command. And the Razorback moving up as well. This squad's disembarked, ready to support in close combat on another turn. We'll go on to a Tau detachment next. Okay, activated this detachment here with the hammerheads aimed firing through. Railgun put a large blast on Kronos, and then we tried to hit the Dreadnought just here with the second hammerhead and missed. Used a reroll and still missed, and that's the detachment complete. So we're going to an Ultramarines detachment now. Which one are you going to?
This one.
Activate these. Aim to fire, no doubt. Yes, okay, so some return fire here. Hunter killer missiles are going to be played as well. So James is going to fire this one into the hammerhead number 2, this one here. So +1 to hit, 2s to hit here. So he gets the hit, yes. And then you're 5+ on the D12. It is, right, well done. So 1 damage token on hammerhead number 2. So auto cannon shots now, needing 2s again. There's 1, and then 7+ for the wound. 8, well done. And then he's played Hunter Killer as well, that's a 2 to hit. And then that'll be a large blast marker if that comes through. It does. Okay, hammerhead number 2 is in serious trouble. Alright, so whirlwinds have fired through. Good shooting from them. They put a large blast marker on the breaches here. Still Tau infantry units, but both of these critically damaged. They're not going to last too long. So that's that detachment complete. Alright, so Storm Surge has erupted now. I've selected to fire that. Its air-bursting fragmentation projectors put a small blast marker on that command group. The Pulse Driver Cannon put a destroyer hit on the Rhino, and then firing the cluster rocket system and smart missile systems, we put a large blaster here on these Inceptors. So that's shooting from that one done. We'll go on to a Ultramarine detachment next. Alright, so detachment here, and James has activated these. We've just put Akaram back. He's too enthusiastic. He shouldn't be with Guilliman. He's in charge of another detachment here. The ones with
the librarian.
Replace the librarian. Right, okay, gotcha. Okay. So advance order given here. Devastators firing. Hellblasters firing. And the Thunder Fire Cannon as well. So damage coming through.
Yeah, Devastators, the Melter Gun, and the Las Cannon. And
against the Riptide
cannon as well.
Okay, so total on the Riptide now is 1 large and 1 small blast marker. Hellblasters put a small blast marker on the high orb missile pod broadside.
The Fire Cannon did nothing.
Did nothing, and that was against the breaches.
Yeah.
Just over there. That Tau gun line smashed here. They're in serious trouble. Okay, so we'll go on to a Tau detachment next. Right, so I reckon James can play this now. He's played Honour the Chapter with Guilliman, and it's another destroyer hit on the broadside. I reckon that unit's potentially going to be destroyed this turn with Guilliman plunging in. And then across here, sniper fire coming through. They could see the intercessors across here. They put a large blast marker on that unit there. It's got 1 wound left before it dies. Smart missile systems firing from the Skyray missile defense ships have put a large and a small blast marker on the command squad, and then the Seeker missiles put a small blast marker on the Inceptors across the other side of the table. James will point those out. Here is just the magic finger. There it is. There. That's that squad just there. Okay. All right, so detachment activated here with the chaplain and the intercessors firing down. A small blast on this squad. That large blast is with the drones. Yeah, that's firepower coming from them, and for the dreadnought as well. So that's the damage coming in from them. Yeah, Rhino fired through as well. No damage from that. Okay, so we're going to tower detachment next. Right, so across here, struggling to get any hits here. Breach has failed to do any damage. Strike team failed to do any damage. We're firing across here. Then the 2 Devilfish, they managed to put a small blast marker on the Razorback just there. So I think James has moved the Tech Marine here, has just activated that. It's on advance, so headed off towards the Dreadnought. Base contact for repairs. Yeah, okay, so it's not going to quite reach and repair this turn. Alright, so activated this detachment up here, fired into combat, allowed to do that with the tower here for the special rule for the greater good. 2 large blast markers and 1 small on Guilliman. Damaged Riptide, critically damaged, firing down. Has managed to put a large blast marker on the Devastators. That's just a 2 wound unit, so if they fail they'll be destroyed. And then here, high yield missile pods and other weapons firing down. Large blast marker here, and in total a large blast marker and a small on the Inceptors. So still decent firepower coming from this line, well, it's about to collapse in the middle here, and with the broadside unit and Guilliman in contact. So that is that detachment done. Not much left here to go. James will activate another one of his detachments. Right, so James activated down here. Good firepower coming from these. In total, they put a large blast marker onto this broadside. You're allowed to land and then make a move here. So this assault squad's moved up along with the lieutenant with the jump pack as well. So that's that detachment resolved. We'll go on to, I think it's the last detachment here for the tower next. All right, so activating Shadow's Sun here. It's an advance order for the detachment. So remain stationary. This ghost kill. This one jumped up and over 12. And then Shadow's Sun and the 2 units of stealth battlesuits moving up, trying to push round to drive the Ultramarines back in this direction. Some firepower coming through, not too bad. Small blast marker on here. Small blast marker turned into a large against the Inceptors. And then across here on the Razorback, now a total of 2 large blast markers. That was firepower coming through from the ghost kill. So that's that detachment finished. Almost finished our detachments. I think James has 1 left and the tower have 1 left as well. So he's started moving here with these. Tactical squads disembarking from the Rhinos. This is Captain Akaran in charge. He'll move up as well with an advance order. Right, so firepower coming up from these tactical squads. Pretty good hit. Lascan, useful enough. Melter gun, useful enough as well. A total of, and that was a little bit of help from Stormbolter fire from the Rhinos as well. A large blast marker on this XV-88. And then also a small blast marker on the Storm Surge. So everything's finished around this zone here. There's been a lot of damage come through against the tower. I'm not sure how many units are going to remain. A lot of damage coming through against the Marines also, and even Guilliman taking some heavy damage as well. I reckon some of these units are going to be removed from play. But we've got 1 detachment left. It's the battle suits across here that have landed here for the tower. The order for them is aimed fire. I'm going to sit where I am and then blast away with the firepower that we have. Alright, so firepower resolved. It's been pretty blistering here from the tower. 2 large blast markers here. That's multiple fusion blaster shots coming through from these 2 squads. Rapid fire plasma rifles from these, helping to put a large blast marker and a small. Drones helping out as well. That's the closest target. Then the commander fired across here, put a large blast marker into them, and then we activated Vortex grenade within 6 inches of the Dreadnought and caused a large blast marker in total using that asset. That's the action phase finished. A lot of damage here from on both sides. Be interested to see what remains alive. So we'll get resolve damage and morale next. Alright, so morale resolved here and damage resolved. So critically damaged on 2 wounds. Saved 1 on a 6 and took damage. I need 2 morale for them actually, so we'll just roll up on a d12 for these. This is 3, so they're okay. Blast marker. In force of battle suit, you can remove a blast marker, so remove that, no problem. Damage coming through. Then fouled morale, then played insane bravery. So glad to have that card. The commander's stayed exactly where he is, and the rest of the force is okay. So still looking very strong with this detachment here. And like James has just removed everything here, busted morale, and all the damage coming through. It's overwhelmed the intercessors here. A gaping hole now in this flank. Just the chaplain left. James just clearing up here. Tower firepower's withered away. The Ultramarine Resistance Dreadnought's gone as well. Whirlwind destroyed also. So a successful tower ambush from the sky here. It's obliterated the Ultramarines on this flank. We'll just check damage in the other sectors of this battlefield. Okay, it's down here. Hammerhead number 2 has gone. It was 2 large blast markers, save one of them on 6, but then busted morale. So that's that one gone. So we've now had to put that one as the Warlords, the last one left. Here, breaches, busted morale as well. No, not morale, it was the damage coming through. Couldn't stop it. So they've been wiped out. And the gun line now almost gone. Just 1 wound left on this squad. So we'll go round to the other side. Even more damage around the other side of the board to resolve here. Alright, so damage resolved around here. That command squad's been removed. Razorback's been destroyed as well. This squad, James rolled a 6 for them and kept them alive. Morale auto pass with the banner nearby. Alright, down here you can see the Assault Marines removed from plate. They're gone. These took damage, critically damaged, but passed morale. So you rolled a 6 for one of these, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so well done. So that's these are... It's a small unit, but they're Primaris, so they're 2 wounds for these. So they've stayed around whilst the Assault Marines have taken 2 wounds and gone. Guilliman, alright, okay. It's Guilliman's damage. Yet to resolve the town damage here, but Guilliman's damage. It's 2 large blast markers and 1 small.
Guilliman's got a 3+ save.
Okay.
So the D12 is a 3+.
You might even walk out of this without a scratch. Morale test, auto pass. Guilliman is unscratched here. The Primarch lunges into the tower. No damage taken. Unbelievable. Right, we'll see what withers away here with the tower. Alright, so yeah, it's bad. It looks bad. It is bad here. So broadside swept away. Past the save here. Busted morale. That one's gone. These damage overwhelmed them. They're gone. The Riptide overwhelmed as well. Morale collapsing in the end with that one. So removed from play. Also, this whole line along here and almost the entire gun line stripped away. I'm beginning to think if Guilliman had got up here earlier in the game, it could have been different. He's a complete beast in Apocalypse. Unbelievable. He's not taking any damage at all. Single-handedly leading the Ultramarines. But it's a Primarch. This is the kind of things that Primarchs do. Launching themselves out ahead of the line. Inspiring all of these Marines here, watching in amazement as Guilliman raises his flaming sword and plunges into the Tau gun line, leading from the front. Now, it's great to see. Apocalyptic.
Yes, now it should
and epic at the same time. Okay. All right, so we'll tidy up here and then we'll go on to the 5th, and it will be the final turn. We'll calculate points here, see if James is edged in. I still think, because the Tau have cleared away the troops from here, they'll still pick up the point. Right, so yeah, Tau control 4 objectives. They'll pick up the point again. They've got this one and their original 3. James controls 2. So we'll go on to the 5th turn. Tau have 1 tactically here, but still Ultramarines left to the imagination here with the Primarch pushing through. If the battle continues, if there was a part 2 to this, I think the Ultramarines would probably drive the Tau off here. But the War Masters are lined up facing each other. Shadow Sum versus Guilliman here is lined up. We must go on to turn 5 to see what happens. So we'll go on to the 5th. It will be the final turn here in our first game of the new Apocalypse system. Right, so on the 5th and final turn here, table's been tidied up. No reinforcements. James tried to play an asset that brought reinforcements on, but didn't roll high enough. Tried to bring a Dreadnought on a 7. And then orders have been allocated here. Tau have won the initiative, so we'll pick a detachment. I think I've got an idea of which one we need to go with first. You'll see the move that we're planning. It's going to be around the other side. A countermeasure potentially against Guilliman. All right, epic. end the game here. We've activated Shadow Sun first. Relocating with these units, charging in with the Ghost Kill. He's going to nobly sacrifice himself here. Just running through the rules, read through all the different options here at this stage. So what we've done is we've charged in. Guilliman has a special rule that allows him to pull out of combat and still fight or shoot. But the rules for falling back here means that you cannot end your move within an inch of any enemy models at all. So if James pulls out, he can't go and fight up against another unit. Trying to protect Shadow Sun here, she's sent in one of the Ghost Kills. It will die, but it's to sacrifice itself just to pin Guilliman down. We've since done our firepower. We are allowed other units, this unit here and units in the detachment, allowed to fire into the combat, sort of representing the Tower Overwatch. 2 large blast markers on Guilliman has been caused. That was firepower from this Ghost Kill here. The fusion blasters from this one. We fired the burst cannon weaponry here, a wound onto each of these, and then also the cyclic iron raker firing across has put a small blast marker onto the damaged inceptors. But that's that move done here by Shadow Sun. So we'll go on to an Ultramarine detachment next. Alright, so these 2 cards have come up again. Orbital Strike and Orbital Barrage coming down. James has chosen this point here. This could decimate the tower. We'll let James resolve these attacks. Right, so Shadow Sun has escaped, but a large blast marker here on this Ghost Kill, small one on the Stealth Team, and a small one on this Ghost Kill. Could have been a lot worse, but damage coming in from a double barrage coming in here from Orbit. Okay, so we'll let James activate one of his detachments now. Oh, right, okay, it's going to be Guilliman and the other units with him. Right, so yeah, Apocalyptic moved up, Banner, gone into contact with the champion, and then Guilliman to fight. And the champion as well gets to fight as well.
No critical damage, just 2s. Both hit. Emperor Sword is forced to wound, destroy hits.
Oh, the Ghost Kill's dead.
Rerolling to wound,
Oh,
thankfully.
whoa. 3 and 1. Okay. Yep, 7 and 5. That'll do. God, nice and reliable from Guilliman. They stand out a mile, the Primarchs here in this new edition of Apocalypse. He is as solid as a rock, and strikes fear into the enemy. We are terrified of this character. It's impossible to deal with him. Okay, so and that Ghost Kill's going to die here on 3 large blast markers. All right, the champion can fight now. See if he can destroy the Stealth Team. All right, so it's a 2 to hit on D6. Yep, and an 8 strength against personnel. I thought he'd do it. Yeah, he's got a 12. Well done. So, no, that's his. So it's going to be a small blast marker there on the Stealth Team. All right, so order revealed here was advanced, so we started to push through in this direction. We've linked or control this objective and starting to push onto this one over here as well. Firepower coming through, large blast marker and a small on the Whirlwind, 1 large blast marker on Kronos, and also a large blast marker as well on the Chaplains, trying to clear away the last of the Ultramarine resistance on this flank. It's almost a wipeout down this side of the table. The Tower have done particularly well on this side of the board. It's the Ultramarines breaking in on the other flank that's been devastating here for the Tower, but we'll go on to an Ultramarine detachment next. Okay, so Kronos and his detachment left, or what's left of them. Kronos has moved. The order was an aimed fire, but it's been switched to advance. That's Guilliman's special rule here, enabling Kronos, who's actually out of range 48 of this last hammerhead, had to readjust position, has moved to here, and no damage coming through. Then here, fired with the Whirlwind, did put a small blast marker on the last Fire Warrior squad. It's already on a wound, so that may well be enough to destroy that squad. Alright, so it's the last hammerhead here. It's an advanced move, so we moved, fired, put a large blast marker onto Kronos, and then used a Seeker Missile asset here coming through, caused another large blast marker. That's 3 large blast markers. Finally, might be able to destroy Kronos, who has survived the entire game. Alright, so Ultramarines next. Alright, so Marksman, who's done absolutely nothing this game, apart from sit on the objective, is a bit isolated now. James floating past of this detachment, advance order given, firepower coming through, 1 large blast marker on the Stealth Team. You see Tau taking more damage here. They're definitely being cleared off of this side of the board, so James may not win this battle.
But we'll try, die.
Yeah, but he's done well on this flank for sure, sweeping the tower away, and it's been pretty impressive to see. And it's not just Guilliman that's done it. Other Ultramarine units have been very effective here as well. Right, this detachment here, aimed fire coming through, and we've put a large blast marker on the Apocalyptic just over there, and that's all the firepower done from these damaged units. Right, so activating this detachment over here, the tactical squad has disembarked. It's there, and they fired through. Claimed the objective of the Rhino, yeah, well done. Actually, it was the Stormbolt here put a wound onto the Enforcer battlesuit, and that's it from them. Yes, okay. Not too much going on. Tactical squad fired through at the Enforcer battlesuit and failed to do any damage. We'll go on to the tower next. Okay, so activated this detachment, gave him an advance order now that the Ultramarines have been driven back. Tower units starting to sweep round on this side. The snipers have relocated and fired and put a large and a small blast marker onto this tactical squad. Good shooting from them. Guided there by the Firesight marksman, relocated and moved with the Skyray missile defense ships. Smart missile systems firing through at the characters, causing no further damage. And then we also fired the Seeker missiles across at the Rhino, causing no damage. Not too powerful, just one-shot weapons. And then the commander, no targets in range, and that's that detachment finished. Ultramarines next. Alright, so James activated the Tech Marine, who's charged into the Enforcer battlesuit and hit, but no wound coming through, needing 8. Okay, so that's that detachment finished. So it's the Ethereal here. The broadsides for him all gone, but he's kept himself within range here of the marker drone, or the Firesight marksman. Not going to move, just going to sit on that objective and sit there, let James try and deal with that model. And then he's played Invocation of the Elements here. It can be used in the action phase. Select a tower of Empire Ethereal from your army to the end of the turn. Add 1 to hit rolls and wound rolls made by friendly tower Empire units whilst within 6 inches of him, and 1 to save and throws as well. It's a pretty useful card, that one, to buff the tower line. Number of units have already shot, but I think it's going to help out the Storm Surge when it fires. Alright, so firepower down here. It's this detachment here firing through, and another large blast marker on the stealth team, a large and a small blast marker on the Storm Surge. One of the most effective units, or a unit that has been pretty effective, is the Devastator squads for the Marines. Pretty good here. Yeah, mixed weapons, pretty useful for sure. Okay, so we'll go on to tower detachment next. Alright, Storm Surge has fired, so -1 to hit rolls because of the damage. Aimed fire, though, the order being given. And Invocation of the Elements here, extremely helpful. +1 to hit rolls, +1 to wound rolls as well. Superb power there for the tower. So, Ethereal is a key unit to have for your tower army, buried in the centre of your gun line. It's a total now of a large and a small blast marker on these. These were hit hard. These were hit really hard. The cluster rocket system proving to be particularly effective. 2 large blast markers and a small on that unit of interceptors. And then the pulse driver cannon firing all the way across the Rhino, going after the objective. A large blast marker placed on that. Superb round of firepower from the Storm Surge at this late stage in the game. Right, so tactical squad's been activated. This is the last of the units here. Total now of 2 large blast markers on the Storm Surge. Useful having the heavy weapons dotted in amongst the tactical squads as well. Captain Akaran moving up. We look at the Ultramarines here, looking particularly strong as they move up. Tower having to deal with other units. These units here are all in pretty good condition as the Ultramarines sweep up. We'll resolve damage and morale now. Right, Invocation of the Elements hasn't helped out too much. Storm Surge just about fouled one of its save and throws. It's gone. That was the last wound taken away. We passed, that's James's one, we passed here and passed morale, so they've held. That stealth team, the other stealth team, overwhelmed by damage, been destroyed. Ghost Kill destroyed here as well. This tower flank has officially collapsed as the Ultramarines sweep round. James will resolve his damage down this flank. No, pretty useful. Go to ground's been played here, prevented damage coming through. Morale passed no problem. This squad, though, suffered heavily and has been removed from play. And Guilliman has taken a wound, finally, at the end of the game here, and he's on critical damage. So he's pushed his way through, but it's cost him dearly. The Primarch is gravely wounded as he reaches the crest of the hill. Company champion's gone. He died, succumbing to his wounds. So did the Apocalyptic as well. He's gone, but passing a save here. The banner remains alive. All right, so around the other side here, the last of the gun line's gone. Fire Warriors evaporating away from their damage. Damage coming through here. The squad has taken a wound, so they're critically damaged. Chaplain's overwhelmed with damage, is gone. Enforcer Battlesuit, wound removed, and then passing morale with him. Rhino's destroyed there. Miraculous escape being played here. Morale passed, damage passed, one of the tokens removed, so good play, keeping the Whirlwind alive. And then here Kronos finally succumbs to his wounds, and the tank is destroyed. Alright, so that marks the end of the turn 5 here, and indeed the end of the game. So, Tau will pick up the points again. It's a draw for objectives. We hold this one. The Rhino was there to use its troops ability, but we've denied it now that the Rhino's been destroyed. So that's one objective. We don't hold this one now. James actually holds that, but we hold the other two across the other side. 3 objectives each here at this stage. So the defender wins any draws. So 5 points picked up to 0 here in this battle. But the Ultramarines with Guilliman have led a successful attack up this hillside. If the game or the battle had have continued, I think the Ultramarines would have stood a good chance of driving the Tau away, or would the Tau have driven them back? Guilliman's gravely wounded. We'll have to leave it here. The game has to end at turn 5, but it's been a good introduction here to this new system for Apocalypse, and so our verdict is
10 out of 10.
Oh, James gives it 10 out of 10.
I haven't got a headache after playing it, and the rules are really good.
Yeah, no, we've usually Apocalypse, you get a bit of a headache playing, 'cause so much rules to remember, so many dice to roll and so on. This is a simplified version, which is perfect for larger games like this, and so playing the actual game has been very enjoyable. I've enjoyed it very much indeed, and I would play this game system again for sure, and would recommend it for larger games of 40k. It's a lot easier going, and just as much fun as regular Apocalypse. And if you look at the shape of the game here, the way the units are spread out on the table, the results that we've seen in 5 turns, it's identical to regular Apocalypse. Units look great on the table. The results that we've seen here, vehicles being destroyed, units, combats, and all those intricacies of a game look pretty effective on the table here. So happy enough with the game as it plays and how it looks on the battlefield as well. And the new system has delivered an enjoyable game of Apocalypse for sure. So Guilliman drives up the hill here. We've seen that epic attack take place. We've seen the Tau make a stout defence of this position. And then we've seen their counterattack here, which proved to be very effective with this crisis suit and battlesuit ambush here at the backlines of the Ultramarine position. But there it is, our first battle of Apocalypse using the new system. Great game. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time. Right, so units of the game, James is going to give it to Guilliman. And the Devastators were particularly good as well. Good variety of firepower from them. For the Tau, I like the way the Breachers played. They were pretty good with their firepower. The Storm Surge was particularly good. A 5-wound model in this Apocalypse system is pretty good. Tough enough and hard to deal with for sure. The Ethereal was particularly useful also for morale, buffing units, and that Invocation of the Elements power, very good. And then also give a mention to the Broadside team that was here. They were pretty solid until they were cut and destroyed by Guilliman himself. That's units of the game for both sides. Just talk about the practicalities of the game as well if you're thinking of playing your own game of this. I reckon a game this size would be suited to 2 players per side. The game would flow really well. If you are going to play, you're going to have to commit yourself to learn the whole new rule system. There are some elements from 40k that the same. The ranges of weapons, for example. But movement, the movement in inches and so on. But everything else is a new system, new stats for weapons and so on to learn. A whole new system, the way the game plays as well. So it will take a bit of time getting used to that. But I think it's worth it here. If you're going to play the larger games, this is the system to use more than the regular 40k rules. One other thing to mention as well is these cards. We've done this with the cards, so printed them out and laminated them. You place them around the board wherever the units are. A lot easier than flicking through phones and tablets and so on. Just as a quick reference, that's very useful for us. That's helped speed things up, make things a lot easier for us as well. But just some tips there if you're going to get into this system yourself.